Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Mech Merlin stream. I see a Weiss Donkey, Arsorel, Yakbats, and Shilakotis. Thanks, guys, for joining in so early. As you can see from the stream title down below, we are building CannonKey's newest board. Well, it's a rehash on an old board, on an old popular board. What I'm talking about, of course, is the BakenekoGO by CannonKeys. Basically, from the outside, it looks the same, but this is a polycarb board available in either frosted or black. I do have the black one tonight. Comes with a hot swap wireless PCB, FR4 universal plate, a small battery. It's a really small battery, which I'll show you later. The C4 daughter board, Molex cable, 58 O-ring gasket, custom silicone feet, cherry clip-in stabilizers, and a simple USB-A to USB-C cable. And the interesting thing about this board is this board only supports ZMK, which we'll talk about a little later. Yakbat says, what is ZMK? ZMK is another open source alternative to QMK with a very high focus on wireless compatibility, on Bluetooth actually. So yeah, this board offers better Bluetooth, better power savings than a equivalent QMK board. The built is about 625 grams, unbuilt is around half that. This does have RGB underglow, which we unfortunately won't see in my black case. It will look better on the frosted case. But yeah, what I'm actually using tonight is the original Bakeneko. It does use an E-white coating. It's powder-coated stainless steel plate, Hades switches, and topped with IFK port. It's not really a board that I use very often. If you guys have been paying attention, within the last year and a half, I've kind of drifted away from using 60% to only using 75s and TKLs. Like, I used to use 65s a lot too, but yeah, 60s are pretty much out of the question for me. But with the BakenekoGO, with something this light and wireless, this is probably something I'll carry to my next business trip. There's the guy right here. My switch choice is also going to be from CannonKeys. These are the Haimu Pastel Peach linear switch. It is a linear switch, of course. Top housing is made out of palm, bottom is nylon, stem material is palm and UPE, spring weight is 63.5, double stage with a 22mm spring, 5-pin, and comes with some factory lube. This is the R&R, pink on the left set. See that? I honestly think this would look better on the frosted case, but you know, might as well use the CannonKey set too. Okay, here we go. 80 bucks, guys. 80 bucks, really cheap. Let's see, this is the FR4 plate. Stabilizers, which are actually, I already have them all clipped and lubed. Oh yeah, these are stabs that you will need to clip because they're like the old school style. Yeah, here's the PCB. And here, this is the little battery I was talking about. It is tiny. It's a 200 milliamp hour battery. Look at that. Oh yeah, this thing over here, that is the USB A to C cable. And this is the 50A gasket. A polycarb case, very light. Like I said, these are the stabs that came with the kit. These are your clip-in stabs, which you will need to clip the stabs in order to make sure that it's not mushy when you bottom out on the stabilized keys. Shouldn't be too long of a build, which is good because I have to pick up a friend from the airport in roughly 3.5 hours. So Bakeneko build should not last 3.5 hours, right? Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. So yeah, here, let me switch the camera view so we can take a look at the PCB. You guys can look over here, the very right side. That is where your caps lock key is, and that is also where the on-off switch is for the Bluetooth. So yeah, in order to access it, you will need to remove your caps lock key. Other than that, you've got your 12 RGB underglow LEDs. along with some Gateron hot swap sockets. And reset button is right underneath the space bar. Yeah, board did not come with any foam, but I know the Bakeneko, like some of its most popular mods, tape mod, putting foam, putting what, paper towel mod, if I'm not mistaken, people did that too. Alright, we got the stabilizers in, and as I said earlier, we are using Canon keys and Haimu switches. These are the Pastel Peach. Alright, so for this build, I am opting to use a split. Actually, no. I put that in the wrong spot. I was like, wait, I want a split right shift. Why is there a stabilizer there? I meant to put that on the enter key. Okay, there we go. Enter key, backspace, and split right shift. That's the way I want to do it. Okay. And we are just about done. 60%. Super easy to build. Well, assuming it's a hot swap, then it's super easy to build. And what's next? Oh yeah, next is we put the gasket on. This is a 50A gasket. I'm sure you can get stiffer or softer ones if you prefer. I'm definitely not one of the streamers who have experimented with the different stiffness of the gaskets, so I can't really comment on what feels better or not. I feel like all of my gaskets have always been 50A. Gasket is on. Yeah, one of the beauties of the Bakeneko, you don't need screws unless you have screw-in stabilizers. So 2 places to plug in. This guy plugs into, like, that's where the battery goes. Ah, I see it. It's actually right next to where the battery goes. Actually, let's connect it all up first. Okay, the bane of my existence is figuring out how to install cables. Well, let me try and take out the battery first so I can show you guys how cute this thing is. Look at that. It is 200 milliamp hour battery. So earlier we were talking about the difference between ZMK and QMK, and I had mentioned that the equivalent QMK board with the wireless options had very little battery life. So if you look at this, a 4000 milliamp hour battery using QMK that's been highly optimized gave you 180 hours of battery life with RGB turned off, whereas if you use ZMK stock with no optimizations, with only a small battery such as the one we have here, with also the RGB turned off, you get more than 800 hours of battery life. That is a significant increase, 4 times. The wires are color coded. Oh, okay. So Wise Donkey says black is negative and red is positive. So perfect. That gives me a good clue. Yeah. Earlier I was talking about turning on the PCB first, but I was like, no wait, I'm not going to turn on the PCB until I make sure the cable is plugged in correctly. Watch Merlin struggle to plug in cables. Here, let's remove the Molex first, so I can focus on plugging this in correctly. There we go. Yeah, do it with the rib facing up. That seems to be a lot better. Okay, so in other BakenekoGO builds, people put like foam in it, but I'm curious to see how this sounds and feels without the foam. Like I said, we are going to turn it on, and if I did plug that battery in correctly, it should be all good. And if I did not plug it in correctly, we're gonna see some smoke. We're gonna let the magic smoke out, so here we go. Fingers crossed. I did follow Weiss Donkey's advice, so if it fails, it's not my fault. It's Weiss Donkey's fault. There we go. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. Yeah, I turned it on. I turned it on and no smoke. I don't feel anything getting hot either. Does it smell like it's burning? Nope, nope, nothing burning yet. Here, let's see. Can my computer detect the Bluetooth? Oh, there we go. Yep. I am on a Mac, so I just turned on, I just went to Bluetooth and nearby devices, BakenekoGO 60 Go. So I just pressed connect right now and the little swirly thing is going. I don't see any kind of confirmation that it connected, but it's detecting it. Connect. Oh, by the way, another thing about ZMK right now is, right now everyone loves to be able to configure your key map on the go without having to flash your board, right? And that's actually one of the major benefits of VIA. Like, VIA allows you to do that. Back then, before VIA, you would have to make your key map using QMK and then flash it on your board. Unfortunately, if you want to use ZMK, you are back to that kind of deal. Like, there is no on-the-fly key map changer as of yet. But apparently Canon Keys and several other vendors have contributed money to help ZMK make a solution called ZMK Studio. And they say it's supposed to come out this year. So we'll see, we'll see. If it doesn't connect, you could try clearing the Bluetooth profile you're on. That's sometimes an issue. Okay, how do I clear that on this? Here, let me refer to this little sheet that they gave me along with it. Okay, the PCB has a 2-pin port. Use the Bluetooth controller to clear Bluetooth. This will make the keyboard forget any old devices. There we go, okay. The function key is over here. And there should be a, so function key and Bluetooth control. So I have to press the function key first and then hold the Bluetooth control, and Bluetooth clear is the escape key. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so I should have cleared it by now. And then Bluetooth 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that again. Yay! It worked! There we go. And macOS is registering that it has 100% battery life. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So it is now unplugged and connected to my computer via Bluetooth. So I should be able to type. And I am indeed typing. Excellent. Okay. Now we shall put on some keycaps. Oh shoot. It's typing. Turn off Bluetooth. Let me turn off the Bluetooth really quick so I can put everything in. All right. my keycaps on, and let's see. How does the board sound? Oh, I like it. Let's compare that to this. Okay, yeah. Sound alone, I already like this better than my original Bakeneko. Alright. Let's do a typing test. Yeah, I think it sounds better than the original one. Like when they first mentioned that they were gonna make a plastic variant, I'm just like, okay. That might be better because I didn't like how the Bakeneko actually sounded too tinny for me. So I think for my personal preferences, this is definitely something that is a good upgrade. Noxygen redeemed hydrate, thank you very much. Tonight we are just drinking water. Temperatures are actually rising here in Seattle, so trying to hydrate better these days. I may want to change out the key set in the near future, but I like the contrast. The pink, the blue, and then the black. Looks pretty good, looks pretty good. And I just realized that out of habit, I plugged in the board when this is literally supposed to be a Bluetooth board. Still 93. Okay, I guess maybe the battery wasn't fully charged earlier and that 100% must have been a fluke or so. Battery reporting is weird no matter what OS has Quark. There we go, okay. Okay, let's do that same typing test, but I will actually do it on Bluetooth. Honestly, I don't think I'm fast enough with typing that having it wireless or not would really affect my ratings. But here, let's do that again. Without wires this time. Yeah, I don't think that really affected how fast I type. In fact, I've actually gotten slower. Ever since, like, within the last year or so, I've been running around more with my laptop, so I haven't been able to sit at a desk and type using actual keyboards. So I've gone down, like, I think these days I average more like 80, whereas before I used to hit like 150. Of course, people are going to be like, but Merlin, you can actually buy 75% with LEDs and OLEDs for a little more than $80. Why buy the Bakeneko? The main reason you would want to buy one of these is, number one, it is fully open sourced, if you care about that stuff. Number two, it is light and it is wireless. That 75%, that TKL that you can buy for under $100 is pretty large. You won't really be able to fit it into your backpack. For this guy, you could probably put those low profile switches on it and make an even more compact carry. So yeah, definitely consider getting one of these guys. Like I said earlier, the caveat is, if you like to change your key maps around a lot and you're not used to, having to flash your board frequently in order to do it, you may have lots of trouble. Alright everyone, I will be posting this build on YouTube within the next couple of days, but remember, this guy goes on sale tomorrow. Okay, the next board I build will actually be another Vertex board, the Vertex 8. So that will be next week on Tuesday. The Vertex 8 is their TKL offering. If you guys remember the Cycle 7, that board sounded great, looked great as well. I'm expecting more of the same on this new board. But yeah, that would make sense. Okay, how do you turn off RGB? Okay, FN. Where is RGB? RGB off. Do we even have an RGB? Oh, toggle RGB. Okay. Okay, that's probably going to be a problem for people who don't know if their RGB is mistakenly turned on. Here, I'm going to try and lift this up. I remember for the original Bakeneko, there were hooks on the plate that let you like lift it up. I don't remember seeing any on this plate. Okay, I see RGB's on right there. Yeah. So we gotta turn it off. Okay, now it's off. Okay. Yeah, I guess if you had the frosted case, then you would see the RGB is on and you'd remember to turn it off. Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining in. Like I said earlier, my next stream will be the TKD Cycle 8, a TKL board. And yeah, that'll be next week, either Monday or Tuesday. Tune in to the Discord to figure out when. Once again, this is the BakenekoGO. Is that how you pronounce it? The BakenekoGO. Kanekey's newest offerings in the Bakeneko line. Going on sale tomorrow for 80 bucks. Wireless, up to 800 hours without the RGB. And sounds pretty damn good if you ask me. So thanks guys for joining in. And I will see you when I see you. Good night, everyone.